Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today for the Beastcoast Pokemon channel, I am joined by our newest member, Wolfey, for an exclusive interview. Wolf, it's so good to have you here, man. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. You know, it's been a while since we were on a team together, and I am so excited to finally be joining Beastcoast.
Absolutely. I think the first question everyone has is, what does you joining Beastcoast actually mean? Are you going to continue to make content? Are you going to continue to compete? What can players and viewers expect from you?
Yeah, so for me, me joining Beastcoast, I like to think of it as a way to augment and enhance everything that I'm already doing. So I will still be competing, I will still be making content, but I want to be doing some new and bigger things as well. And I think Beastcoast is the right team to help me do that.
Absolutely. With Scarlet and Violet obviously coming up as well, I'm sure you have a lot of things planned, both in terms of competing and in terms of content. So, can you give people a little sneak peek of, what to maybe expect?
Yeah, so I don't want to give too much away, obviously, but I will say that for a number of reasons, I think that Generation 9, Scarlet and Violet, are probably going to be the single biggest generation when it comes to competitive Pokemon. And I really want to be prepared to take advantage of that and also just show as many people as I can what is so special about Pokemon. And as I was preparing for this big release, these big new games, it became apparent that I could use some help. And so I don't want to give too much away, but I will say that we have some very big projects in the works, and I am very excited to show everyone what we've been working on.
Definitely. I think one thing that's always been impressive is your ability to balance competing in high-level events and still, maintain your fierceness as a competitor while also being able to make incredible YouTube content. And so what are the struggles between competing at a high level while also making YouTube videos consistently?
I think it's kind of interesting because I'm sure from an outside perspective, it might look like, oh, I compete in VGC at the top level and, I make YouTube videos about Pokemon. It's probably a lot of overlap. But in reality, one of the things that is most difficult is that they require very different skill sets. And although they do have some overlap, of course, it is one of those things where it can be sometimes difficult to switch from my mode where I'm really thinking about content, thinking about YouTube videos, thinking about what I want to create, and then go into the competition mindset of, okay, I want to win this tournament. I want to do as well as I can. I want to, build creative teams. So sometimes just bouncing back and forth, especially because with, being able to do content, I'm really lucky in that I don't have traditional working hours, but that sometimes also means that there is less of a divide between, okay, right now is when I work on my work, and right now is when I work on, trying to win the world championship. So it's a challenge, but I think that it's a challenge that I am able to handle, and I am not worried about it going into Scarlet and Violet.
That makes a lot of sense. You just mentioned a goal, winning the world championship. And so, you're a player that's won a event of every level in competitive Pokemon. You've had a widely successful YouTube channel for the last few years that's grown a lot as well. So what are your goals going into Scarlet and Violet, both from the content side and from the competition side?
So for the competition side, this past World Championships, I did quite poorly. And I think that there's a lot that I can learn from that. And there's a lot that I can take away and do better. So I don't have an explicit, goal of if I don't win the World Championships, I'm gonna feel like the whole season was a failure. But I would like to win some events, I think. And I really just want to bring my A game. I want to build cool teams. I want to continue my journey to master competitive Pokemon, which is easier said than done, but I think that I can do it, or at least go further than anyone else has before. And in terms of content, I really want to once again level up my content. I think something that I'm really proud of is that ever since, I started doing YouTube, and honestly, since I started doing it full time about 3 years ago, my content has been evolving a lot, and it's always changing. And like I said, I think that right now, competitive Pokemon is poised for an explosion when it comes to just how much people know about it and how much people are enjoying it. And my goal is to be the tip of the spear, so to speak, and really kind of open the floodgates to show everyone what is so special about Pokemon and help them learn more about it and get interested in it themselves.
And for you specifically, what is so special about Pokemon, right? So someone watching that maybe doesn't know about competitive Pokemon, maybe has watched some of your content before, but hasn't really ventured into competitive VGC. What do you think are the qualities that make this game so unique?
I think that it's really a beautiful game because there is so much self-expression in the way that you can approach it. There are players who are wildly successful but play the game in such different ways. There's no one right or wrong way to approach Pokemon. And I think because it's a game with two really distinct parts where you have, of course, the battling where, maybe, you and I might assess game states differently, might play the game differently, might like value, you know, risk versus reward differently. That is all true. Players do play the game differently, but you also have the ability to create teams that are really only limited by your imagination. You know, there's over 1,000 Pokemon, and each of them can, you know, have 4 moves out of a pool of 50 or 60 most of the time. They can be trained in different ways. And so it's a game where really you can play it however you want. And yeah, I think there's something really special about that. Like it's not, although some formats might, you know, people might figure out like, oh, these are the strong Pokemon, these are the strong items, etc. It's never truly solved, especially because it's always changing. So yeah, I think it's a really, really special game with a lot of ability of, or like a lot of potential for people to play the game in a way that they want that is distinct from other games, I think.
Absolutely. I think with Gen 9, obviously, things are going to be very different from Generation 8 Sword and Shield and all the previous generations. And so we obviously don't know too much about the games quite yet, but what are you excited for? Or maybe what are you a little bit nervous for as well?
So I am excited because for the first time since Generation 5, the new mechanic does not seem to be as centralizing, at least as the past mechanics were, with, you know, Mega Evolution, especially in Gen 6, Z moves and Dynamax. These were all mechanics that the game would kind of center around. You know, Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Salamence, Z moves could easily just take a KO, and even through Protect would do so much damage. And Dynamax, obviously, many games revolved around because of how much of an impact it was to double your HP and make your move stronger and gain powerful secondary effects. And so the ability to change your type, in comparison, at least from what we know so far, is a lot lower impact. Of course, it is more of a guessing game because each Pokemon can terrestrialize, and each of them can be one of, you know, any Pokemon type. So there is more of a guessing game there. But I think that it seems like it will be like overall the power level has been tuned down from, you know, what we can tell so far, and I think that's really exciting. In terms of nervousness, I think that I really hope that there's a solution to the fact that prevents it from just becoming a guessing game where, you know, it's like, oh, like my opponent has this Pokemon left, and if I know the Terra type, I win, and if I guess it right, I win, and if not, I will probably lose, because that is something I definitely foresee being a problem. So I do hope that there is some kind of solution there, as well as we know that if a Pokemon terrestrializes and becomes a type that it already was, so a fire type, like terrestrializing into a fire type, it gains additional damage multiplication, and I am a little bit worried about that with strong spread type attackers like Torkoal with Eruption, eventually Kyogre with Water Spout, Dracovish with, you know, Fish's Rend, like the really, really powerful offensive Pokemon. I fear that they could just become too powerful, especially with spread moves. So we don't know enough details about it yet. We don't even know which Pokemon are in the game, but it does give me a little pause for concern.
I guess we'll only have to wait and see, right? It's hard for us to speculate. There's only so much we know. I want to quickly shift gears a little bit and just talk about Beastcoast a little bit more. Earlier, you mentioned how you plan on elevating everything you do. You're not going to really stop anything you're doing. It's all just going to be kind of enhanced. So, the first question I want to ask about Beastcoast is, what does it mean to be signed to an organization like Beastcoast, and why Beastcoast?
Yeah, so I mean, I think there were a number of reasons why I decided with Beastcoast, but at the end of the day, I think that there's 2 main factors. The first is that they really believe in competitive Pokemon more than I think any other organization. And that's very, very important because we are on the precipice of what could be the biggest moment in competitive Pokemon's lifetime. And I think having an organization full of like talented people who are also like all trying to tackle the same problems that you are is really, really important. And the second is that I want to do big things. I've alluded to this, and I frankly am intending to do big things. And I have a number of strengths, but I thought that I could only benefit from working with talented people to help me achieve these goals and put together these really special projects. And so it was a combination of Beastcoast having super talented staff and having the ability to help me attain my goals personally, and also Beastcoast as an organization really believing in Pokemon, which I think is very important personally.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've alluded to, doing these large events and elevating your own personal content, but what can people expect from you on the Beastcoast Pokemon channel specifically?
Yeah, so I think that we have a number of fun projects in the works. We're working on a podcast right now, which we're planning to release bi-weekly, which I think is exciting personally because there's not that much just pure audio content, like podcast style content in the space. And we'll be doing, I think, fun battling challenges, laddering challenges, as well as other things that perhaps you will find out if you stick around and maybe subscribe to the channel as well.
I think it will be very, very fun. So yeah, I think, those are really all the main questions that I wanted to ask, but yeah, just any final words that you have for all the fans that are watching right now.
Final words.
Or just anything you want to say, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you are excited about Gen 9, I think that that feeling is valid. And especially if you are somebody who is interested in or cares about competitive Pokemon, I think that the next couple months are going to be unlike anything we've seen before. And I am so excited to be a part of the effort to really show the world what it is about Pokemon that's so great.
I can't wait to be a part of the journey with you, man. I think these next few months are going to be so exciting. So welcome to the team. Thank you to all of you for watching this exclusive interview here at Beastcoast Pokemon. Don't forget to subscribe. Wolf, myself, and all the wonderful members of our team have so much planned for you guys in the next couple of months, and it's going to be an amazing journey. So yeah, don't go anywhere.
Hey guys, Cybertron. Relax, I was just gonna get there. Anyway, as this little buddy was saying, 80% of you aren't subscribed to the channel, so hit that subscribe button. It really helps. Hey, what Pokemon are you?